If you read the chair's report, give me a thumbs up and I'm going to buy you a.
You are good to go, Lois.
Oh, okay. All right. Welcome, everyone. This is the Salem Library Advisory Board, and this is our first meeting of 2022. Happy New Year, everyone. So let's get right to work. We have a lot of stuff to do. I'm calling this meeting to order. Without objection, I would like to add to our discussion items library statistical report. So let's put that under wild ideas. And also without objection, I would like to move Amador up to speak after the Teen Advisory Board, so he doesn't have to wait so long and he can do something else if he wishes. So is there any objection? Hearing none, we will add those items and move Amador up. So we talked about a new way of doing the minutes, and we haven't, or approving the minutes, and we haven't quite done that yet. Catherine wrote Clarissa about some changes, but we didn't get the updated minutes. So Catherine, you want to just say what those changes are, and then I didn't see any other corrections.
Sure. Yeah, on page 2 of the minutes that we got, in the middle paragraph starting Catherine, I just wanted to clarify that the city won't be approving the capital improvement bond. They'll be approving the potential projects on the bond that people will be voting for. So that should read, Catherine shared that the city is moving quickly with the approval of potential projects in the capital improvement bond. And then in the next sentence, co-location should be deleted and branches should be inserted. And in the next paragraph, the first sentence should read, Stephen moved that Lab strongly recommends the city include funding for branch libraries in the Northeast and South or Southeast. And then the sentence would continue as it is, just to clarify that we're talking about 2 branches and not 3. So that's it, unless anybody else has any additional amendments to the minutes.
Okay, hearing none, I would welcome a motion to approve the minutes as corrected.
I move we accept the minutes as corrected.
Okay, thank you, Gretchen. Denise, you want to second that? Okay, all right. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving the motion, the minutes as corrected? Give a signal. Yay. Okay, all right. We have done that. I don't think we got any public comment. Clarissa or Kim, can you verify that?
There was no public comment.
Okay. All right, so we're on to the Teen Advisory Board. Take it away, team. Looks like we have Samantha and Erin.
Hi, I'm Erin Montgomery. I use she, her pronouns and am currently a junior at West Salem High School. The new These Amazing Books recommendations list is on display right now in the teen scene and has been very well received. We must have good taste in books because so many of the books have been checked out, it's been hard to keep the display full. Teen Advisory Board members have also been part of the slow return to volunteering in person at the Salem Public Library. Following the new protocols, tab members have been working 1-hour solo shifts to help pack Salem Reads book giveaway bags and the upcoming Crystal Snowflakes Take and Make kit in yarn.
Thank you, Erin. I'm Samantha Hart. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm in 9th grade at the Early College High School. The Take What You Need project, which offers free essential personal items in the floor one bathrooms, is continuing to be well used. With the colder weather, we're noticing that hand warmers, mittens, hats, and socks are very popular. There's also a lot of use of sanitary apps, toothbrushes and toothpaste, Tic Tacs, and lip balm, among other items. The project is also getting great support from the community. A local agency brought 5 boxes of items from our just last week, and we continue to receive items through the parcel drop near Teen Scene and through our Amazon wish list from many generous community donors.
Is the person done? I don't know. I couldn't hear any of it. Okay. All right. Does anybody have questions for the Teen Advisory Board members?
Could we have the last team repeat their what they shared so that we can get it for the minutes?
Yeah, I could not hear any of it.
I'm sorry.
Samantha?
Can you hear me right now?
No, Erin, do you want to share what Samantha said?
Yeah, let me just pull up the rest of the script real quick. Okay. The Take What You Need project, offering free small essential personal items in the floor one bathrooms, is continuing to be well used. With the colder weather, we are noticing that hand warmers, mittens, hats, and socks are very popular. There is also a lot of use of sanitary items, toothbrushes and toothpaste, Tic Tacs, and lip balm, among other items. The project is also getting great support from the community. A local agency brought 5 boxes of items from our list. Brought five boxes of items last week, and we continue to receive items through the parcel drop near Teen Scene and through our Amazon wish list from many generous community members.
Okay. So are there any questions for the teens? Denise, you're muted.
I would just like to ask, do we get to know who that business person was? That was pretty nice.
I'm not sure. It was Shangri-La Industries that brought over a whole carload of things.
Oh, nice. That's great. That's good. Okay.
I want just once again commend the teens. They're doing fabulously.
Yes. Showed a lot of compassion in that
Yes.
project, and it's ongoing. So that's really great. Now I'd like to introduce Amador Aguilar. Is that right? Is that okay? Aguilar, and he is I think he's the director of a group called Enlace, and he will tell you more about that. He was brought to my attention by Vanessa Nordak, who is one of our Salem City Council people. And so he just wanted to tell us a little bit about what his group does. And I don't know, maybe also give us some ideas about ways his group can connect with the library. So Amador, you got about 5 minutes. Is that going to do it?
Okay, yeah, I can do that. Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity to talk about our program. So we are very strongly connected with Salem Library from the personal level, the family level, and with the projects too, with our projects. So it's for that reason I want to introduce myself. So my family, my daughter served as a volunteer for almost 7 years at the library. My wife served about the same time to the library, especially for the children area and the special project area for the kids. So my sons, all the family, they give service, the volunteer service to the Salem Library, and they were very happy to be part. Right now they grow up, so my daughter is now a nurse. She become a nurse, and my boys, one is going to the second year of the college, and the last one is going to go to the college too. So we have a big history. So I want to talk about a little bit about my program. My program is we call a project, community project, cross-cultural community project, and it is called Enlace. So Enlace in English is connection. It's a strong connection. So we wanted to call in different ways, a traditional way from my state, that is Oaxaca. So we call Guelaguetza, but we decided to stay with Enlace because it's easy for a Spanish speaker, and also we can translate into the English like a community connections. So Enlace, the beginning of Enlace, before it was we wanted to try to create a Latino academy in which we can teach different classes such as art and culture classes, and also educational support for children, young people, and also for adults. So Enlace project is promotes community development by offering personal enrichment programs in Spanish. Also, education, art, and culture programs, training at working with the working with the schools for parents, with the community organization, churches, and different community centers. Right now, for example, we are working with the FSCC, that is the Farm Workers Development Corporations. Right now, I'm here in Independence, in their building. So early we work with the with the school district in Jarvis, offering dance class, folkloric dance classes and music classes as a part of their school program connected with the impact of COVID, the negative impact of COVID. So we try to encourage the young people to inspire them to go forward with the many challenges that we have right now. So we have the culture program that we teach music. Our program is called Los Colores de América. So the colors of America. So we are very happy to be connected with the Salem Library because we have been doing like 3 or 4 different concerts, especially with the reading program. When you guys finish the reading program, you organize a big event in the plaza area. So we have been invited our group to play in that event. Also, we have been using the auditorium to do some performances with the Ballet Folklorico. So we are very open to work with Salem Library. So it's just to find a way how we can collaborate and working with some projects. I think right now we are working to expand that collaboration, but we are running some community projects. This Enlace, the identity of Enlace is a business, but many of our programs are working with the community organization, and we work like we doing many times the work so like a non-profit because we are supporting a lot of different projects and community. So right now we are running different community projects like the community garden, in which we are teaching, or we are having some reading programs in the summer for kids in this community garden, and this is a free resource for kids. So we have during the summer, we engage some young people to also do the reading program through Zoom, using special characters like stories with the little animals. So they act in the reading program, and they were the students from the high school in Woodburn. So we are very connected with different organizations, and we would like to explore different ways to strongly connect with the Spanish area, in which we can promote more the reading for our community. So I just want to share who we are, how the history of connection we already have. So I think someone called me from the Salem Library to do a concert during the September or November, but still we have a hard time. But we are very open to see how we can continue this collaboration.
Thank you so much, Amador, for that presentation. Are there questions for Amador? I have one. Amador, do you hear from people? Do they feel like our library has enough Spanish books and materials, or would they like to see more?
I think there are some students that they would like to have more specific resources in some level, like elementary level, in which they can come and they can search for specific topics. So probably expand more in that level, in the elementary to elementary and middle school level, books, support books for the students. And probably more books for the adult people, like books that can support them to learn English, learn the specific different things in the library. I saw some books, I think, but they were very old books. So probably it's make an update for these books. Some books that, I don't know, new books. Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for Amador? Denise, go ahead.
Amador, I would like to ask you if you had a specific solution or project in mind.
Yeah, I think we want to start 3 different projects. That's the question. That could be my question, or my, I need your support for this. So we have one side, the trainings, classes, but the other side is community connections. So we're gonna start the Walking Salem at the Norgate area. So if we have some project that is free and is for community connection, we're gonna teach like a basic of English before we start the walking. We're gonna do some Facebook live before we start the walking, and we're gonna start to talk about the languages, Spanish, English. So we're gonna try to create a group to learn about the language in the basic level, before we start the walking. But I would like to get your support from the Salem Library to promote this project, how I can use the library to promote the projects that we're gonna have, especially the free project, like the community garden. The community garden, we are doing some free reading program from the garden with the topics related with the garden. So this could be and it's bilingual, bilingual. So this could be a very potential connection tools with the library. So probably, I don't know, how we need to explore how we can first promote events. Probably you have a board in the entrance, a community board in the entrance. I don't know what are the requirements for to me place the flyers there, but also we are changing a little bit the flyer. If people like you, if you are in the library and you can help us to promote word by word, that is a way that we are doing. The Latino community is no flyers. It's mostly word by word, person by person communicating. So I don't know. It's trying to do something different to promote the library, to promote the events, to promote all the projects that we have in the community.
Kim, did you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, Amador, are you working with a specific person yet as a contact person at the Salem Public Library?
I have been working with different, but it's just for a specific project. But no, I don't have any special contact in the library.
So,
But how the collaboration works is identify a key person into the library to to start and make this connection.
yeah, so I'll share your information with our programming and outreach team, and I think we can get some conversations going and ways that we can support each other. It sounds like an amazing program and something we definitely want to be a part of.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Go ahead, Francine.
So my question is more like for Kim in a way, but inclusive of Amador, and that is, what about the discovery room? Is that a good opportunity of a place that's already set aside for children? That is the whole, how developed is the plan for using that room as far as like month to month on your calendar?
So right now our meeting rooms and the discovery room is closed because of COVID. And then what we were thinking is we change out the theme like at a certain like quarterly. And so we could definitely do some themed stuff. And, we could work on something now, perhaps with the hopes that, at some time later in the future, we'll be opening up the room, and it wouldn't have to be the first theme in there, but maybe in the fall or something. So the discovery room is kind of a hands-on, it's kind of like a children's museum type of thing, and with a theme and really interactive type of early literacy, fine motor skills, that kind of thing. So, and it's a fairly big room. So there's a lot of opportunity there as well.
So my wife, she served like 7 years in the discovery room as a volunteer.
Oh, she did? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So she was very excited, and I think something similar we would like to implement in the community garden as educational way. So I remember when there is some topics that you place 1 month, but you don't use anymore sometimes. Mm-hmm. And we got this from my wife because they say they want to use this, and we use it in the community garden.
Oh, awesome!
And work it very well. So if there is some transitional, I don't know, equipment or little things that we can use, also reuse, because we are promoting the rice-bowl program in the and composting in the garden. So we can reuse any material that you don't educational material that you don't use, and we can use it at the garden. So Norgate is the place that is in the garden, Norgate at Norgate Park. So also we can, if there is something or books that you don't use, we can, or you can help us to place a little library bags in the garden. So we can find different ways to work together to promote reading, to promote culture, to promote, I don't know, many things.
Yeah. I definitely think let's get together and talk and make some plans.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amador. You're welcome to stay and listen to our meeting, but I understand if you have other things to do, I'm sure you're a busy person. So thanks so much. And
Yeah.
I'm sure someone from the library will possibly get in touch with you. So.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Bye.
So let's go on with the chair's report. I made a written report. So I hope you all read it. You will get a free something when I figure out what it is if you read it. I'm really wanting people on this board to kind of step up. We're getting into a lot of community things where we're going to need you to make contacts and you know, kind of be up with what's going on. I did want to add something to my report. We have Catherine and Denise and Gretchen going to the Public Library Association conference in Portland, and because some of the other support groups did not have people going, I get to go. So I'm really excited. So we're going to have like such a great delegation. And I think it'll be fun. Kate Van Amerson from the Salem Public Library Foundation will be going also. So that's the update on that. Were there any questions from the magnificent report that I wrote? No, okay. All right. City librarian, Kim, do you want to, oh, Catherine?
Lois, were we live when you mentioned Bill's resignation? Were we online yet?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well, I will, so that's, thank you. That's an update. Bill Dis Dad, and I'm not even sure if I'm saying his name right, has resigned from the Library Advisory Board. He's having some additional responsibilities in his family, and so he did not feel like he could continue. He's been on the board for a long time, ever since I've been on, and that's forever. So I think his term was maybe up in September anyway. So we will fill that position, and that will be a position to fill out his term. And then usually what happens is that person then goes on to fulfill the rest of that term. So yeah, Kim.
So I spoke with Linda Rose. Well, I emailed with her. We have no applications. Like usually there's some applications that are waiting to be reviewed for lab. We don't have any applications at this point. So you folks might want to reach out to people that you know and see if anybody's interested.
Okay.
Amador.
What?
Amador.
Well, I do think we have some diversity, equity, and inclusion type goals that we might want to think about on our board for sure. So let's work towards that. I'm kind of surprised that we don't have any applications on hand, but I mean, Linda knows, she knows what she's doing. So yeah, if you have ideas, why don't you send them to me, and we'll kind of go through that, because they have to put in an application and some other stuff. I could check with Amador if he wants to do something like that. Anybody else have ideas?
I can send you the link to the application. Linda sent that to me too, so that you have it, Andy.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you, Kim. Okay, Kim, would you like to give your report now?
Yes. So this is the December and January city librarians report. We've had some staff changes. We've had some people transfer to technical services, which has left us some openings in other areas. And we're also currently working on hiring 2 adult services librarians. We have filled some of our part-time senior librarian assistants. So we have a few new people. One of our interns moved into a role. These are half-time benefited positions. And then we also hired Priscilla Gaspar. And then also we hired Chandra Smith and Ellie Nalaveco. And they're all doing wonderfully. They're really great, very good with customer service. A lot of them are familiar with the ILS, the library system that we use. So they're really jumping in right away. And then as Tab mentions, we are bringing our volunteers back, and we brought the Willamette Valley Genealogy Society back. So they're volunteering a certain amount of hours each day, and we'll be posting those on our website and linking to their website as well, so that people will have that information. And then if you're looking for something to read, the Salem Public Library's Best Books of 2021 will be released in January. This is compiled from our patrons, our staff, from reviews, and includes over 100 highly appealing fiction and nonfiction picks. And then we also have some for children's, and we'll have a Youth Best Books list, and also have those items available. And then funds from the 2021 Oregon State Ready to Read grant were used to enhance the children's picture book collections with an emphasis on diversity, inclusion, and social emotional development. The special project programs, the teens already talked about the Take What You Need. It is very popular. Very pleased to have it. Youth services staff also continue to offer the Books for Kids literacy program. Book kits were provided for several food banks, Head Starts, early childhood programs, and mano a mano family centers. So this is something that we're continuing to do. It's very popular. And then just some of the highlights of our programming in December. We did our Salem Reads Big Book giveaway, and Gretchen was there for that. It was very popular. They went in a day. I think the next day we had like 2 left, and they went like right away. So those continue to be super popular. I've been working at the door some days greeting, and we have a lot of people coming in with interest about the activities that are going to go all around the book, around the book. So that's really exciting. And those will start up really in February. We had our annual mitten tree where families bring in like socks, mittens, hats, and then those are all donated to the Center for Hope and Safety. And we actually put up 2 trees because we had so many items coming in from folks. So it was a really, really great thing to see. And then just some of we continue to do since we're not doing in-person programming, we continue to do the take and make activities. We did Felting Friends Craft. We gave away 200 of those, and those went like in a morning, like from 9 to 11, or from 11 to 1 o'clock, they were gone. And then the youth services have been doing winter break take and makes while kids were out of school. So they did paper lanterns, Ojalata metal tooling, and create a comic. And then just for our January programs, we're going to start our weekly virtual story time. So this will be live. We had one last Saturday, and we had 25 kids participate. And then they came in and actually picked up a craft activity to go with the story time. So we're trying to combine that virtual element with the in-person element and get a little creative in that way. And then one thing that we're very excited about is the Winter Read Initiative. So usually we go out into the schools and give with our bookmobile, but we're not doing that this year because of COVID. So instead we're bringing book bundles to the classroom, and those bundles have information about the library. They also have library card applications, and those will go to first grade classrooms, and then with the help of the assistant sleep, they'll bring those books to the classrooms, and then we'll refresh them every 6 to 8 weeks. And Then we also have our Winter Read Operation School Bell. It's a part of a new ongoing partnership initiative that we started in spring of 21. So youth services staff had curated and purchased books and materials for delivery to the Assistance League of Salem Kaiser. The Assistant League volunteers pack those into special kits, and then they give them away with Operation School Bell program. This program distributes new clothes and shoes to pre-kindergarten through high school students in the Salem Kaiser School District and Chemawa Indian School. So that's a really exciting thing to be part of. So we're partnering with those kids that don't always have the same resources as other kids, especially this impacts foster children. And then there's a little delay getting this started, but our new baby hospital kits will also be going out to the hospitals, and that is funded by Salem Public Library Foundation. It includes a new board book, songs, finger plays, literacy tips, a library card application, and information, and also a free gift when they come into the library for the first time. And then in our other news, for our strategic plan, we are in the process of resuming in March and April. Right now we're collecting names for those one-on-ones and focus groups. And then, so if you have any people you'd like to suggest, please send them my way or Norm's way, and we'll pass those on. And then the city librarian recruitment is also underway, and Norm will be reaching out to staff and library stakeholders to start the recruiting process.
Thanks, Kim. Will we be a focus group, the lab board?
The lab board, I don't know if like the board will be one focus group, but what they'll do is select people from each like we've been putting together lists. So Coraggio will be contacting people on the list, but I know the lab board is part of those lists, right? For the strategic.
I don't know, I'm asking you.
Yes. Yes, you are part of those lists.
Okay. Yeah, I think, I mean, I would think maybe at least one or two people would have, you know, a pretty good idea of some things that we want to address on the, on the strategic plan.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for Kim? Oh, I had something. Kim, I've had several people say to me, oh, I like the new library, or, you know, the renovated library, but there's no place to sit. And I've had to explain to them, you know, because of COVID, you know, there's not the rooms and there's not as much furniture. And so somebody said, you know, it'd be neat if there would be like a sign that would say that, so that people don't think like, what's the deal? Why is there no place? You know, there's not lots of desks, I mean, not desks, but, you know, tables and chairs and places to sit. And I thought, well, that's a really good idea.
That is a good idea. I'll definitely pass that on, and we'll make some signage.
Any other questions for Kim, Catherine?
On that point, if there was a sign when people walk in, right at the table where Kim stands.
Yeah, we can
Right there.
Yeah, we can figure out some sort of signage too. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, what can I say? We hear it too. And at that point we do explain like why there's not seating around, and but a sign probably would be helpful too.
Okay, we have Catherine and then Francine.
Yeah, so Kim, I wondered if you could give lab members an update on the lab's donation 8 months ago to the Willamette Heritage Center to prepare their online Salem history project.
So I think it's getting closer. It's just a matter of the attorneys working out their language for how they want the project to look in the, I guess it's a contract type of document. So, but I think we're getting closer. We're getting it reviewed by our legal team here, and we've been in communication with their legal team. So at this point, we have had contact with Willamette Heritage. They're not, I know there's a matching donation. They're not worried about the time it's taking and losing that donation. So I expect it'll be done. I'm hoping, where are we? January, maybe by February, we'll have something.
Well, we've been hearing the same thing for the last 4 months. And we have heard that the Willamette Heritage Center is not happy about this long delay, and neither is the other funder in this process. And I feel as a lab member responsible in part for seeing that the money we donated goes to the purpose for which we intended. And it seems so unfair to Willamette Heritage Center, which is a legitimate, well-known community organization, to hold them up for so long. I think it's embarrassing. And I think it reflects poorly on our lab. And it also may make other funders, including the Oregon Community Foundation, who's the other match to this, make them wonder whether they should match with us again. So I really hope the city is making this a high priority issue. It's really baffling that it should have to take so long.
Yeah, I think, a lot of things have happened in the last 8 months that, have not only just affected the library and, our ability to stay on track with things, but we're really working to rectify those things and put things back on our radar for the library. And the holidays, and we've been through quite a lot in the last few months. So we are making it a priority though. So you can be assured of that. It's just, I'm learning that like legal language is very precise and needs to be. So if it takes a little bit of time, I'm satisfied with that. But I know it's frustrating for sure.
All right, thank you, Kim. Francine?
So during the time when the library was on Broadway, the fines, library overdue fines were not ongoing or not being assessed. And I wondered, has the library, what's the status of that now? And I thought that at this meeting, you were going to be coming back with more about fines, and I didn't see it on the agenda. So I thought it might be a good time to ask, since it's, your report.
Do you want to?
Francine, we are going to have a presentation about fines, and it was going to be this time, but we had so many things in this meeting that I decided to change it to February, and that's on me. That was my decision. So Kim wanted to go ahead with it, and I just thought it would make the meeting way too long, and I want to be able to have enough time to really talk about this issue so that we can make a recommendation to the city council.
So has the library resumed the prior policy from before the
No, we haven't at this point, and I don't have a date that we are. Once I have the presentation ready for next time, and or if that's possible, then we'll do that. We'll have the presentation so folks here can really digest it and have the time they need and to talk about it and ask questions. And then from there, we'll keep moving on.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any other questions? All right. Carol, do you have a report for us from the Friends?
Well, we are, making strides. We've got quite a few new customers coming into the store. our donations are going well, although we're not always having people follow the procedure, but we're working on that too. So, you know, things are going along. We hope to have a meeting next month. We're not having one this month. And we'll approve the library's budget request at that time. So, you know, it sort of looks like business as usual if you ignore the fact that we only meet rather intermittently. So, any questions?
All right, I don't see any. Thanks, Carol. Is there a report from the foundation, Gretchen? Gretchen is our liaison.
As Kim mentioned, we had the Salem Reads event, distribution of the books and as she said, it was very successful. And it was great fun working there and having the contact with the patrons who came in and getting their reactions. We did not have a meeting, just as Lab didn't have a meeting. And so we will be meeting later on this month.
Thanks, Gretchen. I have to brag a little bit about Gretchen. She was honored by the Salem City Mayor and got a mayor's award. She and a few other people were very instrumental in getting the art placed back in the library. And this is a combination of the foundation art and the Salem Art Commission art. So round of applause for Gretchen. If you've been back to the library, I just think the art is so well placed, and I love the way there's kind of a continuity of it. So great, Gretchen. Thank you for all that work.
Well, it was great. I mean, it was a lot of physical carrying and placing, but Eric West and Eileen Cotter-Howell and Paula Booth, it was great fun. It was really great fun.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I'm glad you
spending quality time in the library and,
yes.
and getting a real sense of where things are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that was great that you got recognized. So that makes me happy. All right. On to I saw Gretchen at the Bush Barn Art.
The Art Association.
Yes, right. And it was so good. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing her in person. It was just like, it was so exciting. Anyway. All right. So now we're on to discussion items. So we already had Amador. Kim, you wanted to talk about lab minutes.
Yeah, so since we have the lab meeting taped, when Clarissa takes her notes, she's just going to do the bullet point type notes, and then I think it will work out well, as you suggested, to send the minutes out early and have those have any changes made ahead of time, so we don't have to do that in the meeting. And that seems to work well for all of us, for Clarissa and I. Well, Clarissa.
On my end, just a quick reminder that the minutes are written in not written in first person. So when you send in your suggestions for the changes of the verbiage, to not write in first person.
Thank you, Clarissa, for all your work.
Yeah.
I know we are sort of an extra burden on your job, but we really appreciate all your work. So you talked a little bit about the strategic plan. Kim, did you want to say anything else about that?
No, I think it's moving forward. We expect, the next step is to get those focus groups and one-on-one conversations going, and then just keeping along with the process, right?
So, Catherine, I know what you're going to ask. Is it about the survey?
So I don't have the results of the survey. What they want to do is they want to gather all the information, and then they put it together as kind of one like taking all the pieces so that you're not influenced by one piece of information. That's why we do the different types of gathering to get a more holistic type of result.
So I know we've paused the whole process, but it seems very likely to me that they've processed the survey and have the survey results in as its own independent entity. And I think the lab would really benefit from seeing that to actually help guide us, or Lois and me, because we're on the steering committee, in that process. I would like to know what people think at this point in the process, and not wait for it all to be wrapped up in a pretty bow when the whole process is 3/4 done. I'm making a formal request for the results of that survey for the February meeting.
So I can't give you the results of the survey. Part of it is it could create bias, because if you see one part of the survey, you may think that this is what most people think. And so we want to avoid that kind of.
But I'm not asking for one part of the survey. I'm asking for the entire survey.
Yeah, so we're not gonna be sharing the results of the survey by itself. It just doesn't work well for their process.
That doesn't make any sense to me. The survey itself should guide the steering committee in determining what should be in the strategic plan.
Well, I think because when you take a survey.
Why are we doing it otherwise?
Well, there's many parts to the strategic plan and gathering information, right? It's not just one type of process to gather the information. You can get some information off a survey, but you won't be getting as many results as you would. I mean, I've done surveys for years in libraries, and I can tell you that it is definitely not, you're not getting a great sense of everybody who has a stake in what the library offers to the community. You're usually getting people that are power library users, and they're going to have a very different perspective on what the community, what the library should be offering the community. And we also want to hear the voices of the people that don't use the library, and those people, because it tends to be people that are power library users know what we have to offer, whereas we want to really serve the whole community. And part of that is reaching out to the people that aren't using this, right? Right now, I think we have, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I think it's only 11% of our community are active card holders. So that tells you we have a lot of work to do to reach the entire community. So we don't want to just hear the opinions of the 11%. We really want to get out there and hear the opinions of everybody in the community.
Well, the survey went out. The survey went out to everybody in the community.
Yes, but it doesn't really reach everybody in the community. You can try to get a survey out to the community, but that's really, I mean, it just really is if we looked, we probably see that most of the people took the survey from the library website, which is people that use the library.
But so Kim, my understanding was that we hired Coraggio at great expense to get the survey out to the community. That was what I thought part of their job was. And so that was supposed to give us an idea of what people who don't use the library think of the library. And I guess my concern as being a steering committee member, and I've never done, I mean, I know Catherine's a planner and I'm not. But what I want to get what I am concerned about is that then Coraggio gives us a sort of finished product before, and my understanding is that the steering committee is really supposed to be actively devising, you know, what we think the strategic plan should be. What are our goals? What, you know, what does the survey tell us about what we need to do in our community?
So,
you know what I'm saying?
At this point, from my perspective, Coraggio is actually like the experts at doing the strategic plan, the process. So I'm gonna just trust them in the process. And, you know, we can have this keep having this conversation and, you know, talk to Norm about it too. But from my perspective, I have to trust their process.
Did you have a question, Carol?
I do. I mean, I'm on the planning committee too, I think, last time I checked. And I guess this conversation is making me think that maybe we need for Coraggio to give us a little outline of what they think the process is, and at what point in that process they would expect to give us information. I mean, it does seem really weird that they are, like, I don't know, massaging all the information before they give it to us.
Well, I think that's what they're making sure that doesn't happen, right? They don't want to have people go the wrong direction based on part of the process, right?
Well, maybe it would really be helpful. I feel like it would be helpful to me at this point to know, you know, what the process is and what the
Are you folks all on the steering
timeline.
committee?
Sorry?
Are you on the steering committee?
Yes.
Yes.
So they'll be reaching out to the steering committee just to make sure people that were on the original steering committee still want to be on it, and that we still have all the same, we still have as many people on that steering committee, because I know at least we've had one library representative resign, so they aren't on the steering committee. So at that point, that would be a good time to ask those questions.
Okay.
Well, I certainly hope that we keep the representatives from lab that we have.
No, it wouldn't be changing representative. It would be making sure you're still interested because of the time that has passed. There may be some people that like have other commitments now or have changed roles and, you know, whatever, but they're just going to check in and make sure that the people who were on the steering committee still want to participate.
Do you have an idea when they're going to be reaching out, Kim?
You know, I don't, but I would imagine we're in January, so February, probably February or March. But we'll have I'll get like a better date for you. Well, yeah, probably by the end of January, maybe.
Well, that would be helpful. I mean, I think also with this business of this new bond measure, you know, I feel like having this pushed off to March before, you know, we actually do anything is further hampering any attempt we might make to influence how those bond monies would be used.
I totally get that, but I think one of the things we really want to make sure is that we have the time to hire a city librarian, right? I mean, it wouldn't, yeah, we really just need to hire somebody who's a city librarian, and it won't happen. I mean, it's going to happen, but we wanted to give time to the city to be able to hire for that position.
Well, Kim, I know you have an incredible amount of stuff on your plate, and I'm so thankful that you're there. I know probably the strategic plan is maybe not your favorite thing, and maybe it's not mine either.
Yeah.
But I have been thinking about it as one of the most important things that the Library Advisory Board will do in the next year, because this is the strategic plan that will take us forward for the next 10 years, as I understand it. And it's very important that this is not just some kind of, something that we just kind of give a stamp of approval. I'm thinking that this is something that we want to help shape. And
I think so too, and I think that's kind of what the steering committee will be doing. I think the reason we paused it is because we did want to give it the time it deserved and didn't want to rush it through. So I appreciate that you feel that way too. And I know it's a lot of things coming all at once, and COVID doesn't help anything, but I do think putting a pause on it and getting a city librarian in place, and then taking it up when we can give it more time and not have to rush through it is like in our benefit too, because a strategic plan isn't something to take lightly. It is something that should guide your ship, right? And we want to do it in a way that's thoughtful and does that. So.
Anything else? So we were also going to get a city librarian update, and you kind of updated us on that. Do you know what Norm is planning as far as, is there a job description already? Has anything gone out? I assume it will be a nationwide search. And what kind of committees or process is there for like public input and like the 3 support boards to have input?
So I don't have a lot of answers to your question. My assumption is it will go out. Usually a job of this type like this does go out nationally, like if not on a private company kind of looking for the candidate, it will go out on library, like ALA's website and PLA's website, those kind of things, like library centric type of job boards. As far as the other, I just don't know. I'm sure there's a job description. I mean, there's a job description in the, on the city website for the original posting, whatever was the last posting. So that is still there if you want to look at it. And then as far as the other processes go, I don't really know at this point. But it is moving forward. I do know that.
Would you convey to Norm that, we want to be as involved as possible because this is a big hire?
Yes, I will.
And speaking for the Friends, I'd like to second that.
Okay.
Okay. The Infrastructure Bond Steering Committee. Just a little background. I hope you read my testimony to the Bond Steering Committee. This bond is going to be a $300 million bond, hopefully voted on in November. The city is in the process of getting input about what projects we want to be addressed in this bond. And as you know, Lab made a statement about what we want as far as branch libraries. And this is a good time to get those funded, and we may not get this chance again. So I did submit testimony to the first meeting of the steering committee, and I watched that meeting. The next meeting is January 14th, which is Friday, and I plan to watch that. And Catherine wrote a very nice, not nice, I mean, it was nice, but very factual, very well put together testimony for that meeting. And I might try to give verbal input at that meeting, although I don't want to like totally overwhelm them, but I'll think about that. Anyway, that's where we are on the bond measure project. Right now, they are getting input from people. So one of your homework projects is to give input to the steering committee about how we want branches. I mean, we vote. I'm not telling you that you have to do this. I'm just saying that we did have a unanimous vote about saying that we wanted branches with this bond money. So if you would want to, you can Google Salem Community Improvement Bond. Salem, I'm hoping everybody's writing this down. Salem Community Improvement Bond. And then the tab will show up that says suggest. You know what? I will write this in an email to you. You don't have to write it. I will write it in an email to you. Then there's a tab and it says suggest project. And they want you to put it in a certain category, but just pick a category and then write, you know, how you think it's very important. Well, how the lab thinks it's very important that we have some branch libraries. So Denise?
I think it's the same site that I got into and I wrote them. I'm not sure it was called that, but it sounds like what you're describing is what I got into, and it was pretty easy. But it had a lot of bullet type of multiple choice. Is that the same one?
I think it did have a little bit of multiple choice, and then it had a little like message place, and you can type it.
Yeah, I did that. Okay.
Francine?
So when you send the email, maybe if you would indicate where it says what category or whatever, so that we're all sending it in that same category, like whether, you know, if it's like recreation or, you know, there's probably not, you said like you have to pick a category and then go from there. I think it would be wise if we all are using the same category.
Okay.
Lois?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so the category is probably public buildings. But the problem is that when you go online, that is not an option for one of the categories. So I contacted the city today and I told them that that category is not up there on the list, and they said that they would correct it. What they're going to do is just create another category that's a general category, and then that would be the category you would use.
Okay. Denise?
Lois, I put it under Parks and Rec because, I mean, it's recreation read, I guess.
They'll find it.
I think that's what I did too. Catherine, did you have? Okay. But if when you go on, there's something that says general, then I think that would be where you would put it. So
just a quick reminder, guys, if there's going to be email exchange, just remember to send stuff to Kim and I, and then we will blind copy the rest of the lab members. That way we're not conversating between lab members. And if you're not sure how to do that, I can walk you through it. Just give me a call and I can walk you through how to blind copy versus emailing everybody at once.
If we're emailing about something that we've already voted on, we still have to do that?
Well, this is Michelle. The issue is if you're all on an email and you're talking about the work of the board, that could be construed as a meeting. So you don't want to do that, even if it's something you already voted on.
Okay. Okay, now we're to the wild ideas. So we are going to vote on the wild ideas that we may have as a project or may not, but we want to know what you think. They were numbered. They were sent to you in your November packet. And Catherine is going to tell us how we're going to do this.
Okay, I've got a little score sheet here and we're going to just go through one by one and each of you tell me which out of the 21 options, which 3 options you would favor. The lab either to just support, in general, or potentially to support and fund, or even recommend to the steering committee, to the strategic planning steering committee. So we don't know quite yet what this might mean, but for general purposes, which ones do you smile on? Which are your 3 favorite ones? So we'll just go through one by one. If you could just give me the numbers, not the description, but the numbers of the ones you favor. And on my screen, I see Denise there first.
I'm sorry, Catherine, but I didn't have them by the numbers. I had them, I just wrote them down. And I put 1, 2, 3 for myself.
Gee, what I have from you has numbers on it.
Your
well, 1
sheet
through 10
does, yes.
numbers, and then I numbered the rest.
That's right.
Right.
And I don't have that in front of me because I wrote them down on a separate piece of paper. I don't know where to access that.
You don't
sheet.
have. Okay, well, who has their numbers available?
I have it, but just not immediately. I have to toggle and get into my stuff.
Let me just.
Denise, can you explain which ones it is?
Oh, absolutely. My favorite is the seed catalog cabinet. I think that's amazing.
Okay, that was number 20.
Thank you. And the second one was the resources as one-stop shopping, more organized than just randomly posting notes on a billboard. That was one of them, but I didn't put the number down.
Do you remember if it was on your first or your second list?
I think it was, I went through that list last night when I did this. And no, to be honest with you, no, I don't. I think it was.
Was it the one about the cultural consortium?
Yeah, why not?
Art galleries, museums, university venues.
No, that's a good one too. That is a good one too. We could.
Well, you could keep looking, and we could ask other people while you're looking.
Okay.
I think that's a great idea, and then I can get into it here.
Okay, so Francine, do you have some? You're muted. Can't hear you.
I was trying to go into my email because I starred them and now I don't know where it is. But I recall the little libraries, and I don't know if that had a number.
The little libraries.
Yeah. Like the community.
I know what you mean, right? But I'm wondering which number it is.
Was it 9, maybe?
9? No, it's not 9.
You know what? Why don't I pass and then let me find it and I'll say at the end. Okay.
Okay. So who has their numbers ready?
I do.
Okay. Which one?
20, 21, and 19.
All right.
20 is the seed catalog, 21 is the human, where you check out a human or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then 19 was something about that it's kind of like the library of things that you could check out, like puzzles and
Right, puzzles and games. Mhm.
Yeah, 19. Okay.
So mine are 20, 19, and 5 for me. So Sarah's not here. Is Callan here tonight? No. Steve.
I believe mine were 7, 8, and 21. 7 and 8 were the red box vending machine book things, and
Well,
I think
7 is
21 were the human people checking out a person.
Well,
But I'm
7
not
is
sure if 7. I think it was 7 and 8.
well,
but I'm
7
not
says
sure.
some libraries, many notably in Appalachia, provide various self-paced digital literacy skill training centers.
No.
It's actually 17.
Oh, okay. 17 and
17
18
is the red box. That's
Yeah.
and
You
8
know what?
and 8. 17 and probably 18. There were two that both were similar.
vending machines.
Yeah.
Vending called Branch Anywhere, automated machines.
Yeah.
One. Okay, that deliver books, CDs, DVDs, etc.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then he had 21 too.
got that. Okay,
It
good.
would be, we could send everybody's top 3 choices to Clarissa too, and she could combine everybody, even the people that aren't here, and tally them if that would be easier.
Maybe we should do that.
It probably would be, because I think I wouldn't be allowed to have people send me their choices who aren't here, right? So they could send them to Clarissa along with these numbers. So
Catherine, I'll just give you mine now.
yeah, great. Gretchen.
19, 20, and 21.
19, 20, and 21. Okay.
So this is Francine, and I like the Branch Anywhere one, and that which on the list that I had was working off was a number 8, and the number 9 on that list is adding puzzles and games to library offerings.
Puzzles and games is, oh, okay. Well, see, there were two, the second list,
I'm
you
working
had to
off-
add 10 to each one. That became 19.
Okay, and is the other one 18 then, the one Branch Anywhere?
Yes, that's 18.
Okay, so 18 and 19.
18 and, okay, 18, 19, and what was the third one? You're muted. You're muted.
Oh, sorry. The community, the person one, the rent a person.
Okay,
Human.
20, 21. Okay,
21.
great. Okay. So, Denise, did you find anything?
Yeah, I find that me being an environmentalist and never printing anything creates a chaos. That's my problem.
Or you could, if you don't have them, you could submit them to Clarissa.
Well, I think I've got them.
Okay.
The seed catalog, I don't see where that is on here.
Well, that
And
was number, that's number 20. That's what I
number
wrote.
20.
I wrote in an email that would be 20.
Okay, 20. And the other was 18, the resources, excuse me, the red box. And 21, human library.
Well, 17 is the red box.
Thank you.
18 is the Branch Anywhere.
Branch Anywhere is what I meant, I think.
Branch Anywhere, 18. And what's the third one?
21, human library.
21. Okay, well, we've got a lot of duplication here already, which is good. If everybody voted on 3 different things, we wouldn't be able to have any consensus. So we've just got Sarah and Callan. So Clarissa, is it better if you contact them or I contact them with BCC to ask them to submit their 3 choices to you?
So what I'll do is tomorrow morning, I'll send an email to everybody. And just that gives everybody more time. And if everybody can just send me their votes, that would be a lot easier.
I already have them written down for everybody except 2 people.
Okay, then if you want to send those over, that would be great.
I'll send those over. If you could ask Sarah and Callan for theirs. And then tally them, that would be great.
All righty. Well, that was an exercise in great communication. Okay, and now we are going to talk about the statistical report. Catherine, did you want to do that?
Yeah, so I'm just going to spend literally 1 minute on this because I discovered something new about it today. So normally in the fall of every year, we look at the library's prepared statistical report, and we did get that statistical report this year. Those reports are really important, I think, to the lab because they're just full of all kinds of really detailed information about the number of materials, the different types of materials we have, circulation, users, all kinds of information. And traditionally that statistical report has had 2 columns, including the recently passed fiscal year data and then the year before that. So it helps us in spotting trends. And that's, I think, important to the work we do and the policy recommendations we make. So I think I mentioned at a previous meeting that the format has changed. So that no longer are there 2 columns. It makes it harder to compare. And of course, it's kind of pointless to compare on a lot of notes anyway, looking back a year because of COVID and because of the move we made to much smaller quarters. So I was going to try to identify some interesting trends anyway, but as I looked through in detail through this statistical report, and by the way, the new format was not decided on by our library, but rather by the state library. So all libraries now use this format. It is about half, it has about half the questions of the previous report. There's far less detail to this report, which is really, I think, concerning. There's just far less information on circulation, on interlibrary loans, on users who are not part of the system, who don't pay into the system. I have no idea why this happened. I don't know if Kim can shed any light on why the state librarian has made such a major change to the kind of data that it collects from libraries.
Well, I can tell you that each state is different, and they're usually collecting the statistical data that is required of them. So they're being like, whatever they're reporting into for their grants and whatnot, that's required of them. And so they're collecting the data they're required to collect. For instance, Arizona collects very different data than the state of Oregon. So that's what I know about the state of Oregon and the state reports. I've only been back in Oregon a year, so I don't know what they were collecting before that, because I've only seen last year's report. I mean, I've seen the data, but we collected a lot. I mean, a lot of different things that aren't being collected, and we collected some things that weren't collected here in Arizona. So I believe it's state by state, and it's decided on what data they think is most relevant, probably, and what data they need to get grants and funding and that sort of thing.
Of course, it's not our library's fault, but it's just really disappointing, I think, for libraries in general and for boards in general to have far less information available to them. I'm wondering what the reasoning behind this is.
So I do know that they've received a lot of feedback from individual libraries about not really liking the platform, or just not very pleased with the new reporting system. So that, I don't know if they'll change based on that, or if they can change. It's It's kind of a state library decision at this point. And of course, they have an interim librarian for the state librarian right now too.
Oh, do they?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to share all that, and so I have no trend information really to share because of the changes to that, and also because of the circumstances that we're in right now, COVID and the move. So, but next year, you know, we'll be wanting to take more of a look at it.
Denise?
I wanted to ask Catherine if, did you notice that we've gotten an increase in population though? Or an increase in people using the library?
Well,
Did we
there's been a decrease in people using the library because we don't have as much materials available for them to check out. And because of COVID, a lot fewer people are, you know, using, I didn't even look at that because I'm sure the numbers are lower. So there's really nothing to be gained from looking at and from comparing circulation numbers right now.
I can tell you a little bit about the trends due to COVID because it's every library. It's not just Salem Library. We call one of the best measures of how your library is doing in the community is active card holders. That means somebody who's either used electronic resources, computers, or checked out materials on their card within the last year. So our active card holders have gone down, and our population has gone up. That's not all libraries across the board are seeing that. There's a lot of reasons for that. For one thing, our doors were closed. Anytime you close your doors for weeks and just offer curbside services, your statistics are going to go down. We're not offering programming. So if you're not offering programming, then you know you're not giving people another reason to come into the library. And you know, when you have programs when you have story times that bring in, you know, 40 people or more at a time, and each of those families are checking out like 100 picture books, then yeah, your circulation is going to be much better. Our increase, what we have seen is that we've seen a phenomenal increase in our electronic books. And I don't think that trend will go down because now that people know how to use them and the ease of use, they're really enjoying it, right? So I work as the greeter at the door often at the library, and I've had several people come in with their device and say, hey, can you help me? I just lost my connection somehow. And we get it all taken care of. That tells you like that they're utilizing electronic resources more and more. That doesn't mean people don't check out books. I mean, again, people still listen to the radio and watch TV, right? And stream. So it just tells you a little bit about, I think that's one of the things that our strategic plan will really help us develop in the next 10 years. And what COVID has really taught us is that it's moved us into the future a lot faster. And so we're going to have to really be thinking about dynamic ways to serve our community and get the information out to what our services are, right?
I also want to add that, and you weren't here during this time, but Salem's library was closed a lot more months than like Washington County, Multnomah County. They opened in June for people to come in, actually in January. So the reason that Sarah gave, because I asked this, how come Broadway isn't opening when these other libraries in nearby cities are, and they have the same COVID rates that in terms of the population? She said it was because Broadway was so small that, you know, they couldn't do the spacing. So, and so I think if we're going to be thinking about comparing, we can't compare year to year, but if we're going to compare our library to other libraries in the state, I think that context, that reality is very different for Salem was much, much less accessible to the street traffic than either Multnomah County or Washington County were.
Mhm. Yeah.
Do we have any idea when the West Salem branch will open? I'm kind of surprised it's not open yet.
You know, I really don't right now. Omicron has put a whole new twist on everything. So I don't want to make promises I can't keep. And I, you know, we all want to be open.
Yeah.
Kim, what's the status of the West Salem Library? By which I mean, you know, it was, I gather, it was the IT center or some, or technical support center during COVID.
Oh,
And
yeah, just
is
during
it-
COVID. It's all back. We put it back.
Okay,
It's
that's
ready
what
to
I was
go.
wondering.
Yeah, it's ready to go. It was always like, yeah, technical service was there for temporarily, and then we had set up some temporary stuff, office stuff for them, but we took all that out. Yeah, it's ready to go. And we are probably pulling holds from there and bringing them to Maine. So,
Okay. Well, that is the end of our agenda, except for any miscellaneous items. If anybody has anything, I don't see any. I need to get my hamburger. I have a hamburger once a month after the lab meeting. So I want it. All right. Hey, have a good month. We will get information out that we said we would get out. I will send my email through Clarissa. And thank you for being on this board. Thank you for your service to the community. I really appreciate it. We got work to do, and we'll get it done. So happy reading, everyone.
And thank you, Lois, for the work you do. And Catherine,
Welcome.
you too.
Bye.